Mercedes-Benz, a symbol of luxury and innovation, with an astounding $80 billion value today, had a modest start. It all began with a poor engineer, Karl Benz, who defied doubt to create the first horseless carriage. He turned a small venture into a global car empire in the late 19th century. But the story takes a darker turn as Mercedes-Benz's factories supplied military vehicles to the Nazis during World War II, using forced labor. Join us as we explore this remarkable journey from modest beginnings to controversial alliances. Beginnings. Karl Benz, born in November 1844 in the German town of Malberg, came from a humble background. His father, a locomotive driver, struggled to support the family. Tragedy struck when Karl was just 2 years old, as his father's passing left them in financial hardship. Due to their poverty, Karl's mother prioritized his education. Thanks to her efforts, Karl attended school and excelled in subjects like chemistry and mechanics. At 15, he entered the University of Karlsruhe's mechanical engineering program, where he met Professor Ferdinand Rettenbacher. Rettenbacher believed steam engines, prevalent in railways and boats, were becoming obsolete. Under his mentorship, Karl's interest in horseless carriages grew. As a bicycle enthusiast, he tinkered with his bike, experimenting with motorization. Early automobile attempts were based on steam engines, but with Rettenbacher's guidance, Karl realized the need for a new concept. Despite initial skepticism, Karl Benz persisted in his vision, confident that time would prove him right. His journey from poverty to pioneering the modern automobile industry is a testament to determination and innovation. Early struggles. After graduating at 19 from Karlsruhe, Karl Benz worked in various engineering and construction roles for 7 years. In 1871, at the age of 27, he launched his venture. Partnering with the mechanic August Ritter, they opened an iron foundry and mechanical workshop in Mannheim. Karl continued to develop his motorized carriage ideas simultaneously. Unfortunately, Ritter proved unreliable, and their tools were confiscated, causing early financial struggles. However, during this time, Karl met Bertha Ringer, who later became his wife. Bertha, from a wealthy family, used her dowry to buy out Ritter's share, placing Karl in full control. Over the next decade, they turned the business around. Karl made significant breakthroughs, including a gasoline two-stroke engine in 1879. He patented inventions like an engine speed regulation system, ignition via a battery system, spark plug, carburetor, clutch, gear shift, and a water radiator. Although revenue increased, rising production costs forced Karl to incorporate the business in 1882, diluting his ownership to just 5%. Frustrated and marginalized, Karl left the corporation the following year. Benz and C. Leaving his previous company was a tough blow for Karl, but it fueled his determination. His passion for bicycles led him to Max Rose and Frederick Willem, owners of a bicycle repair shop in Mannheim. Together, they founded Benz and C, initially focused on industrial machines and stationary gas engines. Unlike his prior venture, this one quickly turned profitable, with a team of 25 employees. Karl's dream remained building an automobile using his gas engine, but he did it differently. He designed a carriage around the engine, similar to bicycle technology, creating what's often considered the first true automobile in 1885, the Benz patent motor wagon. It was a two-seater with 3 wire wheels forming a tricycle, powered by a gasoline 4-stroke engine producing 2/3 of a horsepower, reaching about 7 miles per hour. In 1886, Karl unveiled this wonder car to the public, receiving mixed reviews. His business partners were skeptical, unable to see its value. Despite challenges, Karl believed in the automobile's future, beginning production in 1888, becoming the world's first car manufacturer. However, early cars had limitations, requiring constant attention, being noisy and expensive, primarily for the elite. Karl faced the daunting task of convincing the world of the automobile's potential, the trip that shaped the future. During the summer of 1888, Bertha Benz embarked on a groundbreaking journey that would leave an indelible mark on the history of automobiles. Bertha Benz embarked on a historic 66-mile journey in her husband's car, showcasing its potential. This daring trip boosted Karl's business, leading to rapid growth. By 1890, Benz & C became Germany's second-largest engine manufacturer, mainly for stationary gasoline engines. New partners, Fischer and Gons, handled business and marketing, allowing Karl to focus on engineering and patenting innovations like the planetary gear transmission, double pivot steering, and boxer engine. In 1893, the luxurious Benz Victoria for 2 passengers launched, followed by the affordable Benz Velo, selling exceptionally well. Producing around 1,200 units, the Benz Velo became the world's first large-scale production car, making Benz & C the world's largest automobile company in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. However, competition from Daimler Motoring Gesellschaft loomed. Bertha's journey remained a milestone in automotive history, sparking the growth of the Benz legacy. The rivalry. Daimler Motoring Gesellschaft, led by engineers Gottlieb Daimler and Wilhelm Maybach, possessed a business acumen that gave them an edge, a quality Karl Benz appeared to lack. They introduced their first Daimler car in 1892, followed by a 2-cylinder model in 1894. By 1897, they unveiled their first front-engine car, the Daimler Phoenix, catching up with Benz in terms of public appeal and comfort. Gottlieb Daimler's passing in 1900 left Maybach in charge. Under his leadership, they created the groundbreaking Mercedes 35 horsepower in 1901, a prototype for modern cars. This racing-inspired vehicle featured a robust gas engine, a wider steel chassis, and a lower center of gravity, dominating street races and hill climbs at a top speed of 56 miles per hour. Daimler rebranded their vehicles as Mercedes, leveraging their racing success. Meanwhile, Benz's partners hired French designers to compete, against Karl's wishes. Displeased with the performance, Karl eventually agreed to let his cars participate in racing, saving his company. By 1908, Benz had a powerful 120 horsepower racer. In 1909, the 200 horsepower Blitzen Benz set speed records, solidifying Benz's and Daimler's positions as coveted cars. Their success, however, was short-lived due to the disruptions of World War I on the global economy. Birth of Daimler-Benz. After World War I, Germany faced an economic downturn, impacting Daimler and Benz significantly. To improve their chances of survival, the two rivals temporarily set aside their differences in a 1924 agreement. They combined production and marketing efforts while keeping their individual names to reduce costs. But as Germany's economic troubles persisted, they merged into Daimler-Benz in 1926. Under Daimler-Benz's banner, they rebranded their vehicles as Mercedes-Benz and introduced the impressive late 1920s models, including the Mercedes-Benz Type 630 and SS and SSK models. Ferdinand Porsche, a brilliant engineer, played a crucial role in their development, becoming a notable name in the auto industry. Meanwhile, Karl remained on Daimler-Benz's board of directors, witnessing the success of his invention and marveling at the industry's incredible progress. Unfortunately, Karl Benz passed away in April 1929 at 84. Following his death, the company continued to thrive, establishing itself as a premier performance car manufacturer. Surprisingly, some of its most prosperous years occurred under the unlikely leadership of Adolf Hitler. A new direction. In 1933, when Adolf Hitler ascended to power in Germany, he sought to showcase German engineering and technology on the global stage, aiming to elevate his political standing above his contemporaries. His plan involved highlighting German cars in international motorsports. Almost immediately, he granted a substantial subsidy to Daimler-Benz to participate in Grand Prix races. Daimler-Benz's dedication to building exceptionally fast cars set them apart from other manufacturers of the era. Their prowess became evident on the racetrack from 1934 to 1939, when Mercedes dominated Grand Prix races, reaching speeds of up to 200 miles per hour with their W25 and W125 models. However, they faced competition from another German automaker, Auto Union, which was also sponsored by their country. Auto Union achieved considerable success in the same period, winning 25 races from 1935 to 1937. These triumphs solidified Germany's supremacy in motorsports, with Mercedes-Benz emerging as Hitler's preferred car brand. The Mercedes-Benz 770, a luxurious vehicle favored by high-ranking Nazi officials and Axis personnel, was frequently associated with Hitler. Dark history. With the outbreak of World War II in 1939, Daimler-Benz faced a critical turning point. Civilian passenger car demand plummeted, prompting a shift to manufacturing military equipment, including submarines, tanks, and aircraft engines for the Nazi military. Their primary focus became military trucks capable of carrying substantial loads, ranging from 3 to 6.5 tons. By 1942, they ceased civilian car production entirely, channeling all resources into the war efforts. As the war intensified, Daimler-Benz needed more personnel to meet the escalating demand for armaments. With their workforce deployed in battle, they began recruiting women. However, even with this addition, they couldn't keep up. Forced labor became the unfortunate solution, with prisoners of war, civilians, and detainees from concentration camps coerced into working under harsh conditions. Most of these laborers hailed from Eastern Europe and endured appalling living conditions, maltreatment, torture, and severe malnutrition. Tragically, many lost their lives in these camps. By 1944, almost half of Daimler-Benz's 63,000 employees were forced laborers. After World War II's conclusion in 1945, Daimler-Benz faced significant setbacks. Under the Potsdam Agreement, German assets abroad were confiscated as reparations, resulting in the loss of all foreign subsidiaries, affiliates, and branches. They had to rebuild from scratch, starting afresh in their home country. Rebirth. After undergoing significant restructuring and revamping its top management, Daimler-Benz managed to secure a production permit from the American occupation authorities in 1946. Despite severe bomb damage to their factories, Mercedes-Benz had the advantage of retaining its own plant, unlike some competitors like BMW or Adler, which ended up in Soviet-controlled areas. Mercedes-Benz redirected its efforts towards producing ambulances, police patrol vehicles, and delivery vans based on their 170V models. They even converted one of their facilities into a repair center for US military transports. In 1947, they resumed passenger vehicle production, albeit on a limited scale, with only 1,045 of their 170V models manufactured that year. Despite less than ideal conditions, Daimler-Benz managed to turn a profit within a year. By the 1950s, Mercedes-Benz had regained its influence, making a strong comeback in motorsports and achieving successful global sales. By 1945, the company had already earned over $1 billion. Over time, Mercedes transformed its image, becoming one of the world's most valuable car brands. However, none of this would have been possible without Karl Benz, who, despite his humble beginnings and numerous challenges, had the courage and determination to turn his dream into reality. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to show your support by liking and subscribing. See you in the next one.